If you're a fan of Animal Crossing or simply enjoy games of the comfy, cozy variety, boy do I have a treat for you. PuffPals Island Skies is a game currently on Kickstarter that looks absolutely adorable, and judging by the over $800,000 raised so far, of the asked $75,000, I'm clearly not the only one with this opinion. So, what is it? PuffPals Island Skies is a warm and cozy life sim designed to make you reminisce on your time as a child, a time where discovering the world for the very first time was fun, adventurous, and exciting. Exploring the world, making friends with villagers, farming and tending to a garden, all the things we've come to love and almost expect in games of this genre will all be present. In this video, I want to start by covering the game itself, followed by the platforms and release timeline, and lastly, we'll be talking about the ongoing Kickstarter campaign itself. But first, what is it that makes this game special? The game and its development have a backstory that is unique compared to any other game that I've ever covered on the channel, or heck, even ever heard of. Why is that though? Because it is being developed by Fluffnest, a brand new game studio with a name almost as adorable as this game, but believe it or not, the studio actually started as a plush toy company. That's right. You can even head to their website right now and check out all the adorable plushies they have for sale. It's these plushies that inspired the team at the time to bring on a game director and eventually an entire dev team to make a game around. But no, it's not like one of those games where you have to purchase items in real life and then scan them into the game to get that item in the game. It's nothing like that. The characters just so happen to be designed around the style of some of the plushies that the store had already been selling. In PuffPals Island Skies, you'll start by creating your character because, of course, there's tons of character customization options and plenty of outfits to choose from. Personally speaking, I'm not the biggest fan of chibi character designs, but the entire aesthetic of the world has me looking right past that. You'll also get to run your own farm, and seeing as how the entire game takes place on a series of floating islands, I highly doubt this will have the way overdone Grandpa left you his farm backstory. You'll be able to grow crops, flowers, trees, and even different types of tea, and as you'd expect, you can design your farm however you want. Again, seeing as how we're on a series of islands in the sky, I'd imagine that as your farm grows, which it will, new islands will be unlocked for you to expand to, allowing you to customize to your heart's content. It also looks like beekeeping and greenhouses will be making an appearance based on this shot here, and potentially animal husbandry based on these silos, though they could just simply be for decoration. If you notice the cow at the bottom of the screen and thought, oh look, those cows are adorable, I can't wait to raise them, that's not actually a farm animal, but Maybelle the cow, one of the townsfolk who loves flowers and teas, and will be the one who will unlock new worlds of cultivation if we can grow to her standards. Maybelle isn't the only villager that we've been introduced to though. Blanche the baker and her assistant Edison, her nephew, will run the bakery and will be able to help us out in the kitchen. Bill the duck will run the general store where we'll be able to stock up on the basics. Buttons the honey bear will be our one-stop shop for all things honey, further suggesting that we will indeed be able to keep bees on our farm. And Ricky and Pete will run the recycling center, where we can turn unneeded items into useful ones. These are just a few of the cast, however. We don't know much about the characters yet, other than that you'll be able to build friendships with them, gift them items, complete quests for them, and even play mini-games with them in the recently unlocked arcade, one of the Kickstarter's many completed stretch goals. But one thing I'm excited for is the writing. Lily, the founder of Fluffnest, if her sense of humor on Twitter or Instagram is anything to go by, this game is going to be littered with bad puns and chuckle-worthy and or eye-roll-inducing humor, which if you ask me, is an absolute plus because puns and bad jokes, much like a bowling ball, are right up my alley. The bumpers must be down too because the team isn't afraid of letting their minds wander a bit into the gutter to bring attention to the 69 followers that they had on their Kickstarter campaign at one point in time. Bad bowling puns aside, good humor in a game is huge for me, and for that reason alone, I will likely be picking this game up. Oh, and there will be fishing too, if you're into that, and again, with the sense of humor, they posted this after announcing it. I love it. If you're not convinced yet, let's talk exploration. The game will feature different biomes and places to explore, including a mushroom forest, a magical mushroom forest that glows, regular old non-mushroom forests that also just happen to have some mushrooms in them, a desert, a jungle, an underwater biome, and more. I'm not sure of what all there will be to do while exploring or what there will be to find or discover, but I do know that there will be collections, so all of you completionists can rejoice. We've only seen a screenshot of a mushroom collection, but artifacts, precious stones, and Island Skies lore have all been mentioned as well. All of this exploring, by the way, can also be done with a pal. A PuffPal, to be precise. There will be a ton of different pet options in the game, the function of which are unknown at this time, other than to follow you around and look adorable. And adorable they are. Seeing as how you'll have a chance to come across new pets while farming, plucking a carrot out of the ground only to have it sprout legs and become your friend, the possibilities extend far beyond the little carrot and mushroom buddies here. Oh yes, fruit and veggie pals will be plentiful. And have I mentioned adorable? Garlic, beets, turnips, bok choy, potatoes, peas in a pod, leeks, afro-sporting broccoli, star fruits, mangoes, pineapples, strawberries, dragon fruit, watermelon, figs, grapes, plums, and so many others. All of these will be able to follow you around, though probably not all at once, if I were to guess, and accompany you on your adventures. But after a long day of adventuring, there's nothing nicer than returning home to a cozy little house that you yourself got to build and decorate, both inside and out. Disagree? Well, maybe you'd prefer living in a giant pumpkin instead. Or is a house shaped like a moth more your speed, with functional garden beds that you can plant your own flowers in? Either way, the customization options seem robust, being able to move the location of your house, place items on the floors and walls, rotate items, customize the floor and wallpaper, and so on. There even appears to be multiple floors, presumably in an upgraded non-starter home, but what has got me so excited is the non-standard floor layouts. Not every room is a boring square like in some games, and I think you might know which ones I'm talking about. Sure, you still have your standard box-shaped rooms, albeit with a really nice-looking kitchen within, like you see here, but look at this. A slightly elevated bedroom with stairs leading up to it, giving almost a loft-style feel, with rounded walls, varied floor textures, built-in shelving, and reading nooks surrounding the windows. Or how about an actual loft-style house with the bedroom and living space above, while the kitchen and dining room sit below? It's just so freaking cool, and I'm all about it. Not to mention that the furniture items and overall art style of this game just look fantastic. You don't have to agree with me, but I am definitely a fan. And much like Animal Crossing, there will also be furniture collections. So if you like the look of a certain item, you can bet there will be items to find that match perfectly. Oh, and while we're looking at this beautiful kitchen, we might as well mention that cooking will be in the game. It was only recently unlocked as a stretch goal, so not much is known about it or how it will work, other than that we'll be able to cook dishes either to gift or consume. And by doing so, it will replenish our energy during our adventures, hinting at some sort of energy system in the game. Whether that's like Stardew Valley, Littlewood, or something else entirely, we have no idea yet, but I like that cooking has a purpose. Speaking of cooking, what about seasoning? I mean, seasons. Let's talk seasons. Seasons will also be present, likely having an effect on which crops can be grown, trees planted, mushrooms available to be foraged, fish able to be caught, and more. Only spring, summer, and fall seem to be pictured in the trailer, but after scouring the team's social media channels, I found this wonderful image of the player enjoying summer in the dead of winter. I have no idea if weather effects will also be present, but as of now, seasons seem to be a definite yes. We briefly touched on it earlier, but PuffPals Island Skies will also feature a game within a game. Several of them, actually. The arcade, managed by Ash the Hedgehog, is a place where we'll be able to play mini-games inspired by games from Club Penguin, Neopets, Pokemon Stadium, and this game, which I won't even attempt to pronounce, that is apparently similar to Monopoly. All of these games will be playable on your own, and potentially with some of the PuffPals in town, but additionally, it might be possible to play with other actual human beings. PuffPals Island Skies is currently a single-player only experience, but if their Kickstarter campaign raises $1 million, multiplayer will be unlocked as well, allowing you to play games with your friends, explore the island together, cooperatively run a farm, and more. With over $800,000 raised so far and just under 2 weeks left on the Kickstarter campaign, I have a strong feeling that that goal will be met, if not exceeded. And even if it isn't, this game still looks lovely, even as a single-player experience. Regardless of if it does become multiplayer or not, the game will be available on PC, Mac, mobile, and of course, the Switch. Xbox and PlayStation consoles have not yet been announced, however, but they did say, and I quote, "We'd love to bring this to as many consoles as possible. When and if we are able to make that happen is dependent on if the Kickstarter goes well." It's also way too early to know about cross-platform compatibility or crossplay, especially since the multiplayer stretch goal has yet to even be met at the time of recording. Everything we've discussed so far has been pretty exciting, but as for the release timeline of the game, this is where things get not as exciting. The team only began development a little more than a year ago in March of 2021, so please do me a favor and take off your pants and replace them with a pair of patient pants, because the game's full release isn't expected until 2025. There is at least a small glimmer of hope though, and it is very small. Even the cheapest tier you can back the game at on Kickstarter and still receive a copy of the game includes early access in 2024. You can also purchase a tier that has access to an alpha build of the game, which they're currently expecting to make available in 2023. There's no specifics on months because they haven't announced those, but that's what we have to work with right now, and yes, it is a little far away. As PuffPals Island Skies is currently in the middle of their Kickstarter campaign, you can pay as little as $20 for the game, early access, a Kickstarter exclusive moth outfit, and some digital wallpapers. Or, being a Kickstarter campaign, as much as $5,000 for all the bells and whistles imaginable, with tiers at varying levels in between. There's also some pretty massive, neat-looking plushies that you can purchase, which I expect to be awesome, seeing as how the company created plushies before they even started making games. Also available are your standard physical and digital art books, 2 different visual effects that are limited only to the Kickstarter, a glow mushroom furniture set, Gus, the glowing mushroom, a unique pet, and lastly, those moth-shaped houses we spoke of earlier, which look absolutely awesome. $50 awesome, though? Well, that's debatable. They also have a really nice breakdown of what's included with each tier, which some Kickstarter campaigns absolutely fail at doing, so that's nice to see, and even more info about the tiers that I'm not going to be covering here. But if you're interested in checking the game out or the Kickstarter campaign, I'll of course leave a link to the Kickstarter campaign in the description. I'll also leave links to their social media accounts, and the reason I'm not mentioning anything about their Discord server is because they don't have a Discord server. It's crazy, I know. They plan on creating one for their alpha backers, but for the general public? Nope. Just so we're clear, I'm not being paid to make this video, nor have I had any contact with the developers. I just wanted to bring this game to your attention after it was brought to my attention, as it looks pretty freaking awesome, even if it is a ways away. A big thank you to Kira Purik as well for suggesting this game to me, and a comment on my recent Farm Folks video, which, shameless plug, if you haven't watched, you totally should. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing if you enjoy comfy, cozy games like this and want to be kept up to date on their progress. My name is DoctorDDub, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and until next time, as always, take care.